They fired me without reason, just because my manager Claire said I lacked potential. I still remember the smirk on her face as security escorted me out. What they didn't know was the company they stole from me was about to have my name on the door. Like, share, and subscribe if you believe karma always finds its way. You don't want to miss what happens next. That day, as I walked out carrying a small box with my things, my co-workers whispered behind my back. "She thought she was special," one said. "Maybe now she'll learn her place," another added. I kept my head down, biting my lip, but deep inside something snapped. For months, I couldn't sleep. I replayed that moment over and over. The laughter, the humiliation, the way Claire called security like I was some criminal. I promised myself I'd never let anyone have that power over me again. So, I started working from my tiny apartment, using the one skill they said had no real value: my coding. I built small tools for local businesses, took late-night freelance projects, and studied everything about business development. Every insult they threw at me became fuel. One night, while I was coding at 3 a.m., I got an idea: a platform that would simplify employee management using automation. The same system Claire used to control us, but smarter, fairer, and faster. I called it Workies. I worked in silence, surviving on coffee, failure, and a dream they couldn't kill. After a year, investors started noticing. One deal led to another, and within 2 years, Workies became the fastest-growing software in the HR industry. The best part? The struggling company that once fired me was now begging for funding. I didn't respond at first. I waited. I wanted them to feel desperate enough to reach out again. And when they did, I made sure the deal would go through one specific buyer, a holding company under my new business name. When Claire received the approval email, she probably smiled, thinking she'd just saved her job. But she didn't know. The name on the purchase papers belonged to me. Next week, I walked back through the same glass doors they once dragged me out of, this time in heels, holding the ownership documents in my hand. Claire looked up, froze, and whispered, "Ashley?" I smiled. "You remember the employee you said had no potential?" Her face turned pale. "Guess what?" I said, sliding the file across the desk. "You now work for me." Her chair screeched against the floor as she stood up, her voice trembling. "This can't be real. This has to be some kind of joke." I leaned back, calm but sharp. "It's real, Claire. Every insult, every meeting where you made me feel small, built this moment." The HR team watched in silence as I walked toward Claire's old office, my new office now. The glass walls reflected the same people who once avoided me, now staring with shock and guilt. Some whispered, others quickly minimized their screens like they were hiding. I turned and faced them. "You all remember the day I was fired?" I said, my voice steady. "That day, I made a promise. I said I'd return, not for revenge, but for respect." The silence in the room was heavier than ever. Claire tried to recover her voice. "Ashley, listen. We just followed policy. It wasn't personal." I smiled, the kind that cuts deeper than anger. "Policy? You called security on me because I stood up for a coworker you bullied. That's not policy, that's power abuse." Her face flushed. "I was under pressure." "Pressure doesn't justify cruelty," I interrupted. "But don't worry. I'm not firing anyone today." Everyone exhaled in relief. Too soon. I continued. "However, there will be changes, major ones, because this company will no longer run on fear." I paused, then added, "And Claire, as of today, your position is under review. I'll have someone else evaluate your potential." The look on her face, pure disbelief mixed with panic, was priceless. But as I walked into my new office, something unexpected caught my eye. A folder on the desk labeled Confidential Internal Audit. Inside were documents, strange transactions, hidden accounts, and signatures that didn't add up. My company had been bleeding money, long before I bought it. And the person authorizing those payments? Claire, I froze. This wasn't just karma, it was corruption. I looked out the window, my heart pounding. They didn't just fire me without reason. They fired me because I got too close to their secret. And now that I was back, I was about to uncover everything they tried to hide. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Claire had been stealing from the company for years, hiding transactions under fake vendors and bogus contracts. The irony? The company fired me for not adding value, while she was draining it dry. I picked up the phone and called my assistant, Ryan. "Get me every financial record from the past 3 years," I said, "and make sure no one knows we're digging." By the next morning, Ryan had built a digital trail of Claire's fraud. Millions had been siphoned off, and some of it was linked to other executives, including the CEO, Mr. Bennett. My jaw tightened. The same man who shook my hand after firing me was the biggest thief of them all. I could have gone straight to the police, but that wasn't enough. I wanted them to feel what I felt: powerless, exposed, humiliated. So I planned something they'd never see coming. That week, I invited the entire leadership team to a strategic meeting at the headquarters. Everyone came dressed for business, confident, clueless. Claire avoided my gaze, clearly nervous, while Bennett smiled like nothing had happened. He clapped his hands. "Ashley, we're thrilled to have you on board again. I'm sure together we can restore this company's glory." I smiled back. "Oh, I agree. But before we move forward, I have a small presentation." The projector flickered on. Slide 1, company profits. Slide 2, declining accounts. Then slide 3 appeared, and the room froze. Each face on the screen belonged to a fraudster. Names, dates, amounts. Claire gasped. Bennett's fake smile vanished. I took a step forward. "These are the people who destroyed this company's reputation. And now their crimes are officially exposed," Claire whispered. "Ashley, please." "We can fix this." I looked at her coldly. "You can't fix betrayal with apologies. You fix it with consequences." Security entered the room. Bennett's voice cracked. "You don't understand." "Oh, I understand perfectly." I cut him off. "You fired me to protect your secret. But guess what? The useless employee you threw away just bought your silence and your downfall." The guards escorted them out as the board members sat speechless. For the first time, the company wasn't built on fear. It was built on truth. But just when I thought it was over, Ryan rushed into my office, pale as paper. "Ashley," he said, voice shaking, "you need to see this. Someone transferred $2 million from your account last night." My heart stopped. "What?" He handed me the file. The transfer was recent, and the signature looked exactly like mine. Someone was framing me. My stomach dropped. The digital signature was perfect. Same loops, same pattern, same timestamp trail. Whoever did this knew exactly how to make it look like I stole the money. "Ryan," I whispered, scanning the documents. "How could they even access my system?" He hesitated. "Unless someone inside still has access to your network." I immediately checked the company's access logs. One name flashed again and again: Emily Carter, my former assistant from 2 years ago, the one who vanished the same week I was fired. Ryan looked stunned. "You think she's behind this?" I clenched my jaw. "No, she's not smart enough to do this alone. Someone's using her account and trying to pin it all on me." I called the bank, froze all transactions, and requested an urgent trace. The officer confirmed something shocking. The money had been transferred into an offshore account, the same one Claire used for her hidden payments. My pulse raced. "Claire's still inside," I said under my breath. "She's trying to burn me before she goes down." That afternoon, I walked straight into the security room and pulled up the live surveillance feed. There she was, Claire, inside the server room, typing furiously. "Got you," I muttered, storming toward the lower floor. When she saw me enter, her eyes widened. "Ashley, wait, it's not what you think." "Oh, it's exactly what I think," I snapped. "You're trying to frame me for your own theft." She stepped back, trembling. I had no choice. Bennett threatened to expose my past if I didn't cover for him." I froze. "Bennett? He's in police custody." She shook her head. "You think so?" He was released an hour ago. He's the one who set this up. He wants you to take the fall now. My heart pounded. Everything clicked. The fake transfer, the planted evidence, the timing. Bennett wasn't done yet. He'd built this trap before he was arrested, knowing I'd walk right into it. I stared at Claire. Where is he now? She swallowed hard. He left the country this morning. He took the rest of the stolen money. I closed my eyes for a second, trying to steady my breathing. I'd exposed him publicly, and now he wanted revenge the same way I did once. But this time, I wasn't the underdog anymore. I had power, proof, and something he didn't. A global network that could find anyone, anywhere. I opened my phone, dialed a number, and said quietly, "Activate Protocol X. Track Bennett through offshore activity." Ryan's voice came through the speaker. Got it. Once he touches that money, we'll have him. But before I could hang up, another call came through, from an unknown number. I answered. Silence for a few seconds. Then a familiar voice whispered, "You think you've won, Ashley? You just started a war." It was Bennett. His voice sent chills down my spine. "You exposed me publicly," he said coldly. "Now, let's see how you handle losing everything you built." Then the line went dead. I stood there frozen for a second, then turned to Ryan. He's going after Workies. He's planning to destroy it from the outside. Within hours, chaos hit. Servers crashed, the app went offline, and investors started calling nonstop. Bennett had launched a cyber attack through his offshore networks, trying to erase every trace of my company. But he underestimated one thing. I'd built Workies myself. Every line of code, every backup, every firewall had my fingerprints on it. And I had written one hidden feature that no one knew existed: Phoenix mode. I rushed to my system terminal, fingers flying across the keyboard. Ryan watched in disbelief as I activated the command. "What are you doing?" he asked. I smiled faintly. "Burning it down, so it can rise again." Within seconds, the system shut down entirely, then rebooted from a secret offline backup I'd stored years ago. The hackers were locked out. Bennett's access vanished. All his planted data, gone. He called again, furious. "What did you do?" I leaned back in my chair, calm this time. "You taught me how to survive humiliation, Bennett. And I taught myself how to win quietly." "You think this is over?" he growled. "It is," I said, "because you forgot the one thing I never did. How it feels to be underestimated." The next morning, international authorities froze Bennett's accounts and issued a warrant for his arrest. The stolen funds were traced directly to him through the same digital fingerprints he used to frame me. Claire testified against him, and in exchange, I gave her a chance to rebuild, far from the company. She took it, tears in her eyes, whispering, "I don't deserve your mercy." I replied softly, "Neither did I deserve your cruelty." But sometimes, letting go is the real revenge. Months later, Workies hit record growth, partnering with top global firms. News outlets called it the comeback of the decade. And when they asked me what motivated me the most, I simply said, they fired me without reason. But that reason became my revolution. I looked out of my new headquarters window, watching hundreds of employees walk in, confident, inspired, respected. That's when I realized, the best revenge isn't making them regret your past. It's making them wish they never lost you.